Welcome to drupa Düsseldorf. Oh.
We're here with Cary Sherburne, executive editor of Whattheythink.com. Executive editor?
Senior editor.
I think executive sounds better than
well,
senior.
I'm old,
Senior
you know?
sounds old.
I
No,
am old.
you're very young. So, by the way, I don't think there's anyone in this industry who works as hard as Cary. If you watch what she does and read the articles, she travels to where she interviews people. She's taping them all over the United States. So with every issue, I'm trying to put little pins in a map of where she's been or where she's going. So I don't think any other editor does as much as you do in really tracking down what's happening in the industry.
Sort of like Where's Waldo?
This is correct. So, Cary and I are both going to drupa 2012. It starts the beginning of May 3rd to be specific. The reason I remember that, by the way, is that I have to give a speech in Paris just before that. And I couldn't do anything on May 1st because that's May Day, and that's a big thing there.
Yeah.
So then I'll be traveling on that day to Dusseldorf to get. I always try to go to the show early. You know, and I know that there are always some events that occur on the day before.
Right.
So you will be there. I assume we'll have a studio. We'll be videotaping again.
Yes, we will. And the studio will be located not too far from the north entrance, the new transportation center that they opened last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little difficult to find, but we have some good signage and whatever. So.
Oh, like this was easy to find.
Yes.
So you're going to be there for the whole show?
No, we only stay a week. The first
I will be
week.
there for the entire event. So
Okay.
I find that toward the end you can get more time with people.
Exactly.
Because it's not as busy
Yeah.
at that point.
But most of the press releases and press conferences are at the beginning.
That's what they normally do. Although there are a few people, because they didn't plan ahead, that tend to come at the end. Anything you know that's going to be earth-shattering there?
Well, you know, I think that there's going to be some game-changing announcements in the inkjet arena. I mean, we're going to continue to mature the inkjet that we've seen, but if you look at people like Delphax and Memjet, maybe some other Memjet people, I think there's going to be, and also when I think of inkjet, I think of the production inkjet, but I also think of the grand format, and I think we're going to see some interesting things there.
No doubt about it. Inkjet is going to be the key to everything. I always say that if companies don't have new technology to show, they show workflow, and if they don't have workflow, they have a party.
There you go.
We've been through that before. So yes, lots of technology, a lot of new toner stuff too.
Yeah.
I think we'll see. When you're there, what would be the one company you want to go see first? I know this has put you on the spot.
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. You know, I really want to see what's going on with this Delphax Memjet thing. So I might go there first because it's a big mystery and they're not saying anything about it, yet. I mean, they announced the partnership. Having talked to Bill McGlynn, of course he's on the more on the office side, but about the whole dynamics of their technology and the lower cost point and all of that, to see it brought up to a production level, I'm very interested to see what that means, because if they're going to be half the cost of somebody else's production and the same speed and equal quality or similar quality, that's kind of a big deal. I mean,
I agree.
I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but we'll see.
We'll see. And again, if you remember the last drupa, the big surprise was the roll-fed inkjet machine in the HP booth.
Yes.
HP now is one of the biggest exhibitors there, so I'm
Yes.
assuming that there'll be some surprises.
Probably from
So
HP,
I would
yeah.
head for that one as well. I think Xerox will have some surprises. I think that they just introduced their orderless inkjet, but I think they've got some stuff up their sleeves at this point. So I think the major companies will all have something very interesting
And
to
so
show.
the other piece, because Frank, the equipment is interesting, and so I like to look at it, but I'm really more interested in the workflow and how it all, the automation and how it all works together. So Andy and I kind of agreed, Andy Tribute and I kind of agreed that it would be the cloud drupa. And so to take a look at kind of what people are doing in terms of the cloud and making it easier for companies to acquire the solutions and manage them through the cloud and that kind of thing, I'm just really interested in that and mobile to see what some of the new developments are there.
That's a very interesting one. Somebody described the cloud yesterday as disk drives in the sky. But you're right, that's a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
We just went to a press conference where that was one of the main points that they were discussing. So you like workflow. What else? You think there'll be some surprises in paper, for instance?
What's interesting, and I think Mohawk is a good example of this, is where, they are really expanding into more products. So, the whole photo book thing that they do and the felt and wire site for letterpress. I mean, so watching some of the diversification that the paper companies are going through, I think Mohawk's probably kind of a leader in that, developing software applications or buying them and so on. But some of the others are going to be following. So I think that's going to be interesting. And then the other question would be, are there going to be new paper developments where, treatment for inkjet isn't going to be required anymore? We went through that whole thing with indigo back in the 90s.
There's a big need for coated stock in the inkjet marketplace,
Yeah.
and so we'll see some.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see some surprises
Yeah.
in that regard. Printing presses, offset presses.
Again, the two things I think we're going to see is increased automation, so much faster make-readies and much more automation, much less operator involvement. But the other thing that I think will be really exciting goes back to inkjet and blending the two, putting the inkjet heads within the web presses or at the end of the offset press or however they structure it. But I think we'll see some creative stuff there that allows you to do high volume inline personalization or customization.
Hybrid printing, you're right, is going to be part of it. I think it's amazing that all the press manufacturers have partnered with digital people, and that KBA has partnered with R.R. Donnelley, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, with their inkjet.
Donnelley has built a lot of machines
Yeah.
For various market segments, so it'll be very interesting to see. And I'm positive we'll see that there, and other hybrid approaches from the other suppliers. So it'll be a great show, and I think we'll have enough to keep us busy analyzing all this stuff for our readers.
And then we can analyze it for the next 4 years till 2016.
That'll keep us busy.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Cary.
benefit from change and drupa.